You're now listening to the JCA Sports Podcast. You're now listening to the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the JCA Sports.
Where am I? There I am. Hey, everybody. The JCA Sports Podcast here coming to you live. Another great episode here.
Oh, Eric.
Hey, sorry, man. You know what? Yeah, I'll blame this one on me. This one's on me, but it doesn't matter. We got a whole hour to fix this, right? The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, guys. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of it, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, where you can find all our episodes live every Monday, every Wednesday from 9 to 10 p.m. on the dot. Jose Contreras, myself, Eric Avila, John Taplaya, unfortunately can't be with us. He's on daddy duties. Hopefully everything's going well with his girls. But he's going to be on daddy duties. But we'll be live and strong on the comments for sure. We got a great one for you guys. Obviously, we're going to talk about the NBA Finals. It's concluded. We missed it yesterday, but it was done last week. A little conversation on that. MLB's John's top 10. I think one of us have to fill in for that one, but he gave us his top 10 for sure. And also, we have a little question for you guys. Just a little trivia, a little bracketology, a little, what do you want to call it? I guess that, right? A little bracketology, Jose. I think we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with the beginning, Eric. With what we have.
Oh, you really want to stir the pot today, don't you?
We're stirring the pot. But let's begin with. We have new NBA champs. New NBA champs of Golden State Warriors. Four titles in 8. I can't even talk, man. Oh my God.
No, you can't.
We need to shake the rust off because we're lagging right now. We're struggling.
For sure.
4 titles, 8 years. Golden State Warriors. Our boy Steph Curry is making a statement with his team. Eric, what are your thoughts, man?
Hey, man, look. As I prepared to put the link on the chat for you guys to join us. What I really think about Steph Curry is that this man, people doubted him first coming in, couldn't stay healthy, even with, couldn't stay healthy in the beginning of his career, struggled mightily to get it, but he made a difference. He made a difference in creating the NBA. Obviously, like I said before, and I'll say it again, he changed the NBA and on how it is today. From the point guard shooting threes to the twos to the threes to the fours, even to the fives, man. He made a big significant difference, and he did it while being the first unanimous MVP. And now he took what is the trifecta, probably even the quadruple of being the All-Star MVP, Finals MVP, didn't get the league MVP, NBA title. So, yeah, man, we're watching Curry's development in the NBA, and we're watching him take over the NBA in a way that probably Jordan did, Magic and Larry did. I'm just speaking to this on my point of view, on how they changed the game, and he changed it in a very, very big way.
As far as the team wise, the Golden State Warriors, they were almost the best team all year. I think from the jump, we kind of knew these guys were going to, make it far, deep into the playoffs, probably into the NBA Finals. A lot of us picked the Warriors to win from the beginning of the season because they looked that dominant in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they did.
And they had their hardships. Injuries were there. Klay Thompson was injured. Steph Curry had a couple games missing. Draymond Green, but they got healthy at the right time. They defeated some quality, good players, good teams in the Western Conference, and they faced a great team in Boston. A team I thought was going to win it all. Boston, I felt, had the tougher road getting to the NBA Finals, but the Warriors proved how much better they are, offensively. And you had your moments defensively with them as well.
Yeah. And think about it. This team last year missed out on the first play-in game. They lost to LeBron James and the Lakers. I think that's who they lost to in the play-in game to make the playoffs. And then the 2 years before that, the COVID year, they missed the playoffs with the injury of Klay Thompson and also Steph Curry. He was hurt at that time. So we're just 2 years removed of probably seeing the worst of the Golden State Warriors in recent memory history, for sure. Since the Klay, Steph, Draymond era, that's for sure. We saw the worst of them, and then they just came back on top. The same three that did it from the very beginning, the same three that they drafted, the same three guys came up and they showed out, and they are NBA champs again, man.
Yeah,
and you could tell this team that the owners. I forgot the name. I had the names earlier, but the owners who bought the Golden State Warriors, I think at like $200 million, drafted these three guys and just made a whole dynasty out of them. I'm saying it right now. This team's a dynasty. It's a present day dynasty, and now this team is worth in the billions. First in the 500, but now it's in the billions. So kudos to the Golden State Warriors. They got a new arena. They did everything they could, and we wish the Chicago Bulls were in this part, but they're not. And right now we're in the Golden State Warriors era, man.
We are. And I'm glad you bring that up, because that leads me to my next question that I have for you, for everybody else in at home watching. Make sure to spam the comments, guys. It's the JCA Sports Podcast. You guys are watching us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Hit the comments. Talk to us. Eric put the link up. And so if you guys want to jump on and join with us, you can as well. We can discuss the Golden State Warriors and how they defeated. And how they defeated the Boston Celtics, and we can even discuss this next topic that I have for you guys. Who is the king? Whose era is it? I was watching. I was on social media scrolling the other day, Eric, and I seen a show on Fox Sports 1 where they were asking. I think it was Chris Broussard. Who was on? He was talking about how in the Michael Jordan era, he wouldn't allow anybody to get a ring as long as he was playing. 6 championships in 6, and in an 8-year run, an 8-year stretch. Jordan was out for 2. Well, he was out for one of those. He came back for the other, rusty. So they didn't really go and win anything that year. But when he was fully healthy and back to where he was, he won 3 straight again. So 6 and 8. The Warriors got 4 and 8. LeBron James deserves his respect because yes, his finals record isn't as good as Steph Curry's or Michael Jordan's, but the guy still went to the NBA Finals 9 times. And let's not poo-poo that. Just to get there is hard in itself throughout an 82 game regular season, and then having to play all those games in the playoffs with tough quality opponents. So just for him to get to the finals 9 times in itself is an accomplishment. He's 4 and 5 in the finals.
Yeah, 4 and 5 in the finals. I mean,
so the question is, whose era is it now that Steph Curry in 4 and 8 years has just as much rings as LeBron James? You can say he's just as efficient. So who's the real king right now?
Ooh, tough one. That's a good one. That's a good question. And that's a real good one, man. I honestly I want to say I mean it's it's still LeBron's barely by a smidge. And the only reason why I'm saying this because he has the longevity. Now, granted, it's harder to. Yes, you're right. It's 4-9. He was 4-5 in 9 NBA title tries, right? But the fact that he went, what was it, 7 straight, 8 straight NBA finals. I mean, that's hard in itself. So that alone, obviously, he has more opportunity against the NBA finals. And he has approached there, right? Steph Curry has been a little bit more efficient. What he's won 4-7, I think it is. So and they take one off each other. He won one in Cleveland against Golden State, and he took another one from them, or he took two or one when he was in Cleveland, I think it was, or two in Cleveland.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's 1-2 against the Warriors in the finals.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, they took titles away from each other. I still think LeBron holds it, but holds it by a small margin, man, a very small margin. I think simply because he dominated for such a long time. Even when he was in Cleveland, after the Miami era, like him going through there, coming back to Cleveland, and probably did the little bit that he did with LA. I still believe that LeBron still holds that title. Don't get me wrong, man. Steph Curry is legit right there. If I put in soccer terms, holding on to his jersey for the advantage, or at least fighting for him, hand fighting to chase the ball, to chase the crown. So I say LeBron, but by this much, by that much.
So,
you just want to start a fight with the LeBron fans, man. I think that's what you want.
So here's the thing.
You're just trying to stir that pot.
The thing is, Eric, I'm one of his biggest supporters. Out of the three of us, I'm the one. I'm the one who says LeBron is the second greatest of all time. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Steph Curry has put himself in a position to contest that right now. And that being said, going back to the Jordan era, he was number one, hands down. It wasn't until he retired when the Spurs won a championship afterwards. But then after that, it was Kobe's. It was Kobe's era, and it was Kobe's era all the way up until 2010. Even though LeBron James was drafted in 2003 or 4, it was one of those two. Even though LeBron James became in that league in that time, it wasn't LeBron's era until he went to Miami. That's when he had a decision, when it was big time. That's when Kobe's last championship was in 2009. 2010, I believe, it was LeBron James's era. That's when it first started. And from then on, he went on absolute complete tear. Every single year in and year out, he went to the NBA Finals. Literally 9 straight. I mean, it got to the point where you could just pencil whatever team he was on going to the finals, whether it was Miami, whether it was Cleveland, whether it was Los Angeles, and it happened. He won a championship with all three, at least one with all three. Right?
See, this is
hold on. Let me finish real quick. That being said, we should still be in the LeBron James era, but we're not. I don't think so anymore. I think this is Steph Curry's, and I think he is taking over. I think he's taking over because within the LeBron James era, he allowed Steph Curry to win 4 championships. In the LeBron James era, how many championships have the San Antonio Spurs won? Milwaukee won 1. This is supposed to be LeBron's era. And yes, wait. Think about this, Eric. Yes, you could say Steph Curry has the phenomenal team around him, but he's the best player on that team. Same for LeBron. LeBron in Miami, he was stacked, but he was the best player on that team. And Cleveland, best player on that team. Los Angeles, best player on that team. This should be LeBron James's era still, but it's not. This is Steph Curry's now.
Okay, so people might hate me for this. People might hate me for this one, but the fact that you said the 2000s was Kobe era, I don't think it was. Simply because the San Antonio Spurs won 3 in between. Simply because Dwayne Wade still got his in between, right? The Boston Celtics got one off of him, even though he won, what was it, 5 in the 2000 in the 1999 to 2009. Let's put that era, because if that's what you want to do, I don't want to say that's kind of Kobe's era, because then you're kind of putting the numbers in between for LeBron, because LeBron he won 2, but then in between, it's kind of like, okay, LeBron won 2. Then it's Steph in between, but in between there, Dirk won 1, which was kind of odd in between, and then you have your battle back and forth with LeBron and with Steph Curry, right? I don't know, like the 2000s was kind of that weird phase, because in the 90s it was all Jordan. In the 80s you could pick and choose whether if it's Bird or Magic. I think that's where you probably want to settle that debate. The 2000s, it was just up in the air, because we got infatuated with Kobe, but Kobe didn't really fully dominate the way that LeBron did in the first 2000 in the 2010 period, by going to so many straight NBA finals.
Right.
Right.
That's why I said his era ended in 2009 when he won the championship. After that, it was straight LeBron.
Yeah, but he really didn't fully dominate the early 2000s like how you like LeBron.
He was with Shaq. Those early 2000s.
The first 3.
Right?
And then how long?
2000s are from 2000 to 2009.
But how long did it take him to get back there, though? Think about it. In between, we had a Spurs dynasty. We had the dynasty between Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. They won 3 or 4. You know,
I agree.
Dwayne Wade in between there, he got 1. Dwayne and Shaq got 1. You know what I mean? So it's just like, to say that Kobe dominated. Okay, he probably got the most rings out of everybody, but I don't think he fully dominated, because he still had a losing record. Plus, there were talks of him coming here to Chicago in between, because they were thinking about demolishing that Lakers squad. Now, turn the page to the 2010s. You can say this is LeBron's type of era and stuff like that, but LeBron too, he also let Dirk Nowitzki win his only one in between. He went to the finals that year, his first final since he was in Cleveland, but again, it just felt like he should have taken over that one, right? Then he got one off the Spurs. The Spurs still got another one off of him, and then Steph got 2 out of the 3 against him. So it's like,
so what are you saying? Because what I'm saying, Eric, is that it was LeBron James' era from 2010, and it should be till now. But as you mentioned, he let so many players come in, so many teams come and take it. Kind of again, I still think LeBron is the second greatest of all time, because just to get to the finals 9 times is an accomplishment. You don't see it often. The guy was that dominant.
Yeah, I know. But
you just can't not acknowledge the fact that Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors and what they're able to do right now doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon, man.
And I think the fact that the matter is that LeBron had to do it with Wade and Bosh in Miami.
No, it doesn't matter that. It doesn't matter, because
Curry
couldn't do it without his guys either, though. And neither could Jordan. Jordan couldn't do it without Pippen. He couldn't do it without Pippen. But
that's fine. But what I'm about to say is that he did it joining together. The Michael Kobe Steph. The only argument is, and the only legitimate argument is here, is that they did it with one team.
Curry did it twice. Curry did it twice with one team. Otherwise, the other 2 championships he had,
I get that.
Somebody.
But that's still one team, though. But that's still one team. And that's where it kind of, to me, it dilutes LeBron's quest to NBA greatness a little bit, is the fact that he jumped ship. That he went to Miami, and then he came back to Cleveland. He won one for Cleveland, which kind of restored a little bit his reign, and then he jumped ship again, and he went to LA, where he got another one, but then has been a shell of himself ever since. And just a reminder, guys, everybody, the Facebook comments are always brought to you by Bix Creation. Bix is your number 1 leading shirt and t-shirt customized. We got our shirts too as well. You can get there in locations in Lansing and in Munster. So make sure you check out Bix Creations on Facebook.com for more information.
Yep. And going into the commentary, we have Jonathan Pelayo and Deontay Jones, Uncle Day Day, both of them in the comments. Deontay brings up some great valid points on. Let me take this off so you can see. Because LeBron and Kobe shared time with the Spurs getting there. Jose has half the battle. I agree 100%. We cannot discount what the Spurs were able to do. They have just as much titles as Kobe Bryant does. Jonathan says, call me when LeBron does a three-peat. Deontay Wade was the best player when LeBron first got there. I don't know about that. Man. I think LeBron was the best player at every team he's been on since he came to the league. Just because it's your time doesn't mean you should be in the finals every year. Yes, Eric. Yes, I said it. Kobe won 5 with the three-peat. Timmy and Kobe both have 5, says Deontay.
Hit the last one.
Bro, LeBron
Hit the last one.
Every 4 years. You don't see it often because superstars weren't teaming up prior to 2010. And then Deontay, guys, y'all got to stop leaving Tim Duncan out. His trophy case looks as good as I agree with you.
And that's the one. And that's the where I agree that the 2000s was ran a little bit by the San Antonio Spurs and into trailing the back end of LeBron James's reign of being the number 1 player in the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs, they don't get a lot of credit because they're not big value, big market, big name teams, but they did everything right the fundamental way, the big fundamental in Tim Duncan, and he was a force because he also got one. We tend to forget that they got one in 99 or 98 or 99 with David Robinson's last year that started that dynasty.
So whose era was it? Whose era was it then? In the 2000s, was it Kobe? Was it Tim Duncan's? Was it LeBron James? Who do you have? Who's after Jordan? Who really took over the NBA?
Marketing wise, it was Allen Iverson. But if we're talking about basketball wise, right? If we're talking about basketball. People might hate me for this one, but I think it's Tim Duncan's, bro. I think it was all Tim Duncan. It really was. They were boring, but they got the job done. And isn't that the case in sports? Getting the job done.
Deontay said it was Tim Duncan's era. Jonathan says it was Kobe's. Rest in peace, Mamba. Eric, who do you have? Who do you think it was?
Tim Duncan. I'm going to say Tim Duncan. By a smidge, it was Tim Duncan. Because he did it. He did it the Kobe era, and he also did it in the LeBron era. And when you do what is the best of the best at that time, and you still take titles away from them, it means something. It says something. And
it does say something. Absolutely, you're 100% right. And just like you say, Kobe had Shaq and LeBron had, this person. Tim Duncan had a great team around him. He had Kawhi Leonard from some of those championships. He had, of course, his two partner in crimes in Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker,
who are very underrated.
Yes, very underrated. And when you're coached by one of the greatest NBA and just basketball and general coaches in Greg Popovich, he's literally the Bill Belichick of the NBA. You put them both in that type of category, and when you have all that in just one team, it's magic. It really is, and I can't deny you guys again. Like I have my opinion, but a lot of times, like listening to you guys talking, I'm like, you know what, you guys may be right there. You guys persuaded me. I think I'm going to say it was Tim Duncan's era. It was Tim Duncan's until LeBron took over. Then LeBron took over. But right now, the first question as we had, whose era is it between Kobe and Steph Curry? I think LeBron's just ended. I think this is now Steph Curry's era.
I think the only reason that Steph is just beginning, or this is Steph era, is simply because how he changed the game, how he changed the narrative of the game, and that's the only thing. The only thing that LeBron changed in the game is more flopping, and that's just the hater talk, right? That is just the hater talk in me a little bit, right? I think that's the narrative of LeBron with the hater talk, but he didn't have that big of an impact or huge of an impact in the NBA like Steph did. From centers to shooting threes. When was the last time you seen a center shooter three before Steph? Exactly. It took you a while. And that's the thing. Like he created a stretch four. He created the stretch four. Maybe Dirk helped a little bit along the way, right? Dirk was that guy that was a little bit of that stretch four, but then he made it realize that if Dirk can do it and this guy can do it, I think anybody could do it. And he changed that position to where now big guys like Joel Embiid, that will shoot a three from here and there, and that's probably the only big guy that I could think right now on top of my head that is shooting threes and at a consistently good rate for a center.
Going back to the Big Creations comments here on Facebook, Deontay says going into Tim Duncan, as we all proclaimed his era as the early 2000s, he never missed the playoffs his entire career. never had a lottery pick, and was always top in the league. That's just overall the organization. That is a prime example. That is the standard of an NBA organization and what you want, because he's absolutely right. They did everything through free agency, through the draft, and it was all quality players. And you see Kawhi Leonard, who can arguably be one of the best players in the game right now, also came from that system, came from that organization. So 100% he's right.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. But I'm telling you right now, man, like you may say it's Steph Arrows right now, but I promise you, and I think John alluded to it earlier. John said that Steph Curry has one more title run than LeBron does, and I kind of want to agree on that part.
Absolutely. You guys are watching the JCA Sports Podcast alongside Eric Avila. My name is Jose Contreras. Jonathan Palaio's in the comments. Guys, spam the comments. Talk to us. The link is on there. If you guys want to hop on and enjoy, we can talk whatever you want to talk about. We can talk about Steph Curry, LeBron James. We can talk about the NFL, as we will a little bit later on. And we're even going to get into John's top 10 picks, his weekly top 10 baseball picks. We'll be getting into that. But first,
I'll do my best to imitate John today.
Okay, absolutely. We can do it. Okay, first things first, Eric.
Yeah.
FanDuel came out with the bracket, best sports trophy bracket. I seen this and I was like, I had to put this on.
I don't like it.
You guys had, and because I have a question for everybody, and I'll answer myself as well. If you guys had one championship that you would want to win, whether it's on this bracket or not, what would it be and why? Make sure you guys put it in the comments. We'll post it up. We'll talk about it. Eric, what trophy do you want to win and why?
Okay, so do I have to change to out of this bracket, or can I put my own?
I guess real quickly, for those who can't really see, we have the Stanley Cup, the WWE Championship, the Heisman Trophy. We have the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
The fact that the Heisman Trophy is number 4 and the Larry O'Brien Trophy is number 5 is just ridiculous to me.
You know what? To be honest, I'm not really looking at the seeds. I'm just looking at what's there.
They got the green jacket at 2 and a green jacket at 2 and an Olympic medal at 7.
I get it. You have the green jacket, the Olympic gold medal. You have the Lombardi Trophy, which you get in the NFL, and you have the Commissioner's Trophy that you get in the MLB. So Eric, which one and why?
This is so Americanized. I hate it.
It really is.
I hate it so bad. It's so Americanized. Like you have the WWE time. No disrespect.
Hey, no. Don't disrespect.
No disrespect.
It deserves to be up there. It deserves to be up there. 100%.
No disrespect, but the WWE before the World Cup, before the Champions League, before those two biggest titles, you put this is so Americanized. It disgusts me. I am in pure disgust right now. Simply because you got the Stanley Cup. That's a cool looking trophy. Don't get me wrong. Lord Stanley looks pretty dope, but for it to be number 1,
you know what? I think that deserves to be number 1. I'm not gonna lie to you. Eric, when you look at the Stanley Cup, it's probably the coolest trophy out there, and not even that, but what you get to do with it, how you get to take it home, the amount of parties it's been with, the amount of people that drank out of it, kissed it, that cup right there, Lord Stanley itself, it deserves to be number 1.
Look, hockey is the only championship that you did get in the regular season. Hockey's the only sport that gives you a trophy in the regular season, bro. It has the longest preseason and the shortest regular season. And if you win 12 games, you win a trophy for the regular season. Seriously, hockey's the only sport that does that. While you have the Champions League, where you play against Europeans best.
For those who don't know, Eric is basically saying, it's an inside joke here. Eric is basically saying the regular season is preseason and the playoffs is regular season. So in case that went over a lot of people's heads, because it almost went over my head, and I know the guy, that's basically what he was saying. Go ahead, Eric.
This bracket disgusts me because they don't even have the 2 best trophies in the world up there.
All right,
and that's
so take off 2, add your 2, and who do you got? Which trophy?
Right, so I would have so rearranged this completely. Because to be honest, look, Lord Stanley is a decent cup. It looks pretty decent. I'll replace that with number 4, right? And then I'll put the World Cup championship at number 1. And then I'll definitely take out the green jacket, because who the hell wants to win a green jacket? At number 2, and I'll put the Champions League title there, right there, right? To be honest, if whatever trophy I really want to win, and here's a little insight. So a lot of soccer players did reveal, like, if they ever go to Europe and play, they'll prefer to win the Champions League over the World Cup, because winning the World Cup is the hardest thing to ever do, simply because you have 32 teams in one nation playing against each other. And to be honest, it's only been a handful of teams or a handful of countries that have won that trophy, maybe two handfuls, right? But it's a dope looking trophy though. And to be honest, if I were that guy, honestly, the World Cup would be the be all end all.
It's a good point. It's a good point, especially because A, you're representing your country, and B, you're literally facing the best in the world.
The best of the best. The best 32 nations in the world.
Yes, in the entire world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree that it's one of the it's up there for sure. It definitely should be on this list. The fact that it's not a travesty.
The Champions League should be up there. It's not.
You can almost say the same thing about an Olympic gold medal. I mean, in the Olympics, you're facing against the best in the world in the sport that you love, the sport that you train so hard for, and for you to get a gold medal in itself is just as big.
It's just as tough, just as big as I feel. That's why I would replace the green jacket, because, like I said, winning the gold medal is everything in a person's career, because some people live off of that.
Absolutely, and again, and just like the World Cup, you're representing your country, and you're literally facing the best of the world in that sport.
Yep.
So that's saying something. Okay, here's the thing: you don't feel the WWE title should be there. Our guy Deontay doesn't feel the WWE title should be there because he said it's scripted. How is it relevant? Let me tell you how it's relevant. Let me tell you how it's relevant, Deontay, and everybody on the phone, and everybody watching at home. This is why. The training is just as vigorous. The injuries are just as real. WWE, yes, it's scripted. Yes, in order to win a championship, you gotta it's not just you. You have people behind you supporting you who want you to win a championship, whether it's the owner, whether it's whoever's writing the scripts, basically, right? But just to get to that point, for them to believe in you, how many wrestlers do you see go in that company, in any company, and try to live a dream they've been wanting to live their entire lives? When I was a kid, I was a huge wrestling fan. All I ever wanted to do was win a WWE championship. More so than any other sport out there, because I was such a huge fan. Which is why I feel like that's my winner, because that's something I always wanted to do. But just to get there, yes, it's scripted, but you got to have the ring skills. You got to have the charisma. You got to have the skills on the mic. There's so much that goes into being a WWE superstar, let alone being worth being a champion. Because once you're the champion, you're basically the face of the brand. You're the face of that era going on right now. Look at someone like John Cena right now, who was the face for a long time before him. The Rock, Stone Cold. Look at someone right now like Roman Reigns. You got to have the look. You got to have the mic skills, and you just got to have the presence. It's just as hard. Not everybody can do it, and I feel like that's relevant. I think it's relevant enough to be there. Once you made it to that point, you have, okay, we're gonna give you the championship. It is what it is. But yeah, of course, obviously, John, it goes based off whatever your favorite sport is. Of course, Eric,
yeah, this is so Americanized, super Americanized.
I'm picking the WWE championship.
I'm surprised they don't have the Indy 500 up in here, because then we talking about a whole different. Yeah,
that's America right there.
That's America.
Deontay says gold medal is what he would choose. And
that's like the sneaky, like the upset of upsets. If you got the gold medal up there, like it's a one where it's just like, okay, I can see that where it can make that little run, you know. But to be honest, if not, give them an Academy Award.
Oh, yeah, bro. It's acting, yes, but it's still. You still got to go through all that, man, just to become a champion.
All right, so out of all of these, right, excluding the jacket, let's exclude the jacket. Out of all the trophies, right, which one's the ugliest? I think that should be the answer right there. Which one's the ugliest looking trophy?
You said excluding the green jacket? It has to be
excluding the green jacket. This jacket, it's not hardware.
The Heisman is ugly.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
I honestly believe it's the commissioner's trophy.
Really?
The commissioner's trophy is that it's just a bunch of flags in different sizes. Give me see, I rather have that. Give me the Ballon d'Or too. See, that's another competition. Well, that's not really a team title. That's mainly more of an individual. If we want to do the individualist, I rather have the Ballon d'Or over the Heisman.
I'll tell you what. The Heisman probably looks really cool on a shelf because how big and like brass that thing is. Right? It'll literally take over the whole shelf, and you'll be like, "What the fuck is that?" But
I
honestly,
get what you mean.
but it's ugly. But it's just an ugly trophy. But it does stand out. It does stand
It
out.
stands out.
It does
But
stand out.
but I'm talking about like out of the major sports, NFL, basketball, hockey, and football. Like literally, the commissioner's trophy.
You know, the National College Championship trophy is actually pretty nice too.
Isn't it a plaque?
It's almost like a plaque, but it's nice. I think it's nice. John says that.
It looks like a high school trophy. But honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, I think next week I'm gonna find my trophy of winning like the best goalie for the season award, and I guarantee you it probably looks better than the Heisman one.
I'll tell you what, the Lombardi Trophy is sneaky. It's sneaky plain. Like it's a little basic. I'm not gonna lie.
It's basic, but it's efficient.
It's basic though. Like when you hold the Stanley Cup, you got to hold it with two hands. That thing is huge. That thing is beautiful.
I mean, you kind of almost the only trophy that you could probably hold with one hand is the Lombardi Trophy, because I seen players hold the Larry O'Brien Trophy with two hands because
Yeah,
it's weirdly positioned to where you need to use both hands.
yeah.
Just kind of like you know.
But that's why I feel like the Lombardi Trophy is just basic. Just basic. It's a basic trophy.
I don't know, man. That commissioner's trophy though, that trophy is just flags in a circle.
I mean, it has a little class to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a little
Class.
Yeah,
You want to. It just adds lack of creativity.
All right, let's get into it, Eric. Let's get into it. The moment we've all waiting for.
Ooh, nice sound effect. First one, he got the St. Louis Cardinals at number 10. Last week, that was his honorable mention. That's what I think that's what his honorable mention was last week. They crept into the top 10, second in the NL Central. They were probably one of the best teams right now playing the NL Central. But right now at number 9, he has the Milwaukee Brewers, who lead the NL Central by a game and a half on the St. Louis Cardinals, who were the honorable mention, but now in the crack in the top 10. And the next series is a battle for number 1. At number 8, we got the Toronto Blue Jays, second best team. They had a tough series over the New York Yankees over the weekend and have another one that brought them down to 8 and has another sneaky, difficult, but semi-easy game series against the White Sox coming up at number 8. So hopefully, let's see if they make that jump. They're still a very sneaky good team. Talk about the best team in the AL Central right now, the Minnesota Twins. He had them number 7. I believe he had them higher last week, and I think they dropped to number 7.
He did have him higher. They dropped to number 7.
He had them higher last week. No, they're the only ones that dropped. Another team that dropped or kind of rose. I think they stayed up. No, I think they went up in the San Diego Padres. Again, he has them still missing up on the top 5. But the San Diego Padres are a sneaky good team coming out of the NL West, giving the Dodgers a hard time over the weekend or last series before, and creeping up in the NL West.
41 and 27, and still, and the fact that they're second in the NL West says something.
It says something about how difficult and how hard it is to keep up with those stingy Dodgers. John's top 5 as we're going up the mound visit at number 5. It's a team that was his number 1, dropped down to number 5.
Yep.
The Chicago Cubs over the weekend broke their winning streak and lost 2 out of 3 against our lowly Chicago Cubs. They dropped from number 1 to number 5, which is the biggest drop off so far out of his list. Yep. Still at number 4 last week. I think he had him at 3. Kind of didn't really change a lot, but they had a good series over the White Sox over the weekend. Took 2 out of 3 and still hold their dominance out of the AL West. Look, the Astros they're very, very tough team. John hates it. John hates them. He's continuing going to hate them, but it's a team that won't go away for sure. Now we're creeping up to the top 3. And at number 3, John's second favorite team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Look, on paper, 1-10, 1-9, even on the bench. They're the best team in base. They're the best team in the National League. They're the number one team in the NL West, and maybe in the NL and probably the whole NL division. But the only reason why they're not there is because at number 2, we have the New York Mets, who are the best team in the NL conference and the Central Division, whatever you want to call it. They're the best team in the NL. 44-24, number 1 in the East, number 1 in runs, number 1 in batting average, number 1 in on base percentage. This team is legit.
It's legit. Yeah.
This team is legit. The only reason why they're legit is because this team, they have the pitching, they have the all around base team ball, and offensively, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a scary team to face at any point. The Braves are having a tough time. That's why they're second to defending champions. The Dodgers, I think they have a series coming up with them in the next month or so. I've seen the schedule ahead of time, and the next series could be a proven one if they can do this. If they can do this, they could beat the Mets. But let's see. I mean, if they could beat the Astros, then they're in consideration.
Hold on, we gotta let the beat drop. Hold on, let me go back real quick. Hold on. I muted.
At number 1, and my brother should be happy with this. Literally the best team in baseball right now in the New York Yankees. To me, I see them as the best team in baseball. Literally the best team in the AL East. And all in the AL, first in home runs, first in batting average, first in
ERA,
second in runs, first in slugging, first in ERA, second on base percentage. They got the Tampa Bay Rays coming up in the next series. But man, look, these New York Yankees, they are legit. And right now, at the moment, they are probably the World Series favorites. I did my best to do John's top 10. He said Braves are only in the top 5 without 40 wins because the Cubs series hurt them after the win streak of 14. Without them, the Pirates would be number 5. Like, I get that. I kind of see why they took that drop off, and I mentioned that they're losing 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Definitely did hurt them. But he says the Yankees are the first team to 50. First team to 50 tonight, and the Bronx Bombers are legit. I'm trying to get my brother to get on the podcast because if you want to talk about a Yankees fan, a number one Yankees fan, my brother's in it. Shout out to him. And to be quite honest, I think he is as happy as he can be. I know last year he was talking about that the Yankees last year when they were eliminated and when they acquired Rizzo, he did say that the Yankees will win a World Series title if they re-sign Rizzo within the next 2 years. And they look legit, man. They're the legit favorites to come out of the AL East. And I don't think there's another team that could compete with them.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of the East, Eric, it is time for our weekly NFL division preview. And here this week we have the NFC East. Last week we did the NFC South. Here we are, NFC East. We have the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders. We will be going through each schedule. We will talk about what we expect from each of these teams, and we'll even have some debates on who the best quarterback is for this division, running back, wide receiver, etc. So let's get into it. Starting off with who I think is going to win the division this year, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice
schedule. Guys, in the comments, how many wins, how many losses? What are we giving the Eagles here? Week 1 against the Lions, Eric, is that a dub?
That's a dub.
It's a dub. What about week 2 against the Vikings?
That's a dub.
Commanders?
That's a dub.
Okay. Jacksonville?
That's a dub.
Damn, Cardinals.
I think this is where they might lose.
All right, you got it at 4-1 against the Cowboys?
That's a dub.
Really?
I honestly don't have that much faith in the Cowboys this year. I really don't.
Going into the bye, I don't have it that way. I have them literally 1, 2, 3, 4. I have them at 5-2. I think they lose back to back against the Cardinals and the Cowboys, going at 5-2 in the bye week. Still a great way to start off the season.
For sure. You're 1-1 in your division at that point. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, against Pittsburgh Steelers, week 8.
That's a dub.
Texans.
That's a dub.
I agree with you. Commanders again.
They're gonna sweep.
Look, I don't know. I think this could be a trap game, especially if it's in Washington. No, this is actually at home. Look, the Washington Commanders are greatly coached by the great Ron Rivera. They're they're gonna have a good defense. They're gonna have a good running game. I can see them losing this game Monday night.
If you want to talk about a trap game, that Thursday night game against the Texans is more of a trap game simply because you got the Sunday to Thursday game, and then they have literally a week and a half off from that Texans game to the Washington Commanders game on a Monday Night Football game.
Honestly, they think the Texans are going to be that beatable. Doesn't really matter.
I mean, I know that, but you're talking about a team going on the road. Now, granted, the Eagles coming from east to the Midwest on a short week. I mean, it can happen. It can happen, but you're right. They're kind of beatable, but don't be surprised if they're losing against the Texans that game.
All right, Colts.
They might lose this one, especially if it's at Indianapolis. I can see them losing this one.
Green Bay.
I can see them losing this one too.
I could see them both losing them both. Absolutely, 100%. Titans, I see them winning. What do you think?
I actually kind of see them winning too. I don't think the Titans are going to be this team that everybody thinks that they might coming back. I honestly feel like they lost a lot.
I'll give you that. The Titans were well coached last season, and with even losing Derrick Henry, they were still the number one seed in the AFC. I don't see them repeating that this year. As you mentioned, I think they lost way too much offensively. Let's go into the New York Giants. Dub.
Oh yeah, they're sweeping the Giants.
They have a very favorable schedule to end the season. By the way,
They do, and I think I called the W on the Bears beating the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember,
wow.
but I don't know. I don't recall, but I could kind of see them taking back-to-back wins against the Bears. No, I got them winning. Never mind. Yeah, I had them winning. I had the Bears losing against the Eagles. So yeah, back-to-back wins, back-to-back wins, to back wins, to back wins. They're gonna land. They're gonna end on a 6-game winning streak. After losing to the Packers.
You have a really good point because usually around this time is when the Cowboys start to choke. So very, very realistically, they could literally have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game winning streak getting into the playoffs. Where do you have them in seeding wise when it comes to the playoffs?
I think they're gonna run away with the East. I think this is my team coming out of the NFC East this year, especially with the addition of AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. We got to see what kind of quarterback he is. The running game was pretty decent. Obviously, you have who's the one that they draft? Was it Waddle? No, it's not Waddle. It's who did they draft last year? What rookie wide receiver that they had last year? Why am I blinking on his name?
I don't remember either. Shame on us.
Shame on us for not knowing. But I think he definitely 1-2 combination with AJ Brown and the other wide receiver that they have. God, Jesus, I had him on my fantasy football team too, and I don't know why I cannot remember for the life of me. But anyways, that's not the point. With a decent tight end, the offensive line is probably the only scratch mark on the Philadelphia Eagles. But they upgraded a little bit. They drafted 2 offensive linemen this year in the draft. So to me personally, I think the Eagles are going to come out of the East this year.
Absolutely, I have them as a 3rd seed in the NFC. Period.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
I have literally top 3. They're going to be a great team. It's going to the Giants, Eric. Pretty weak team coming in this season. Not looking good for them. How many wins do you give them?
Well, I see them losing against the Titans. I could see a toss-up between them and the Panthers week 2. They might pull off the W because I don't know what kind of Carolina Panthers team we're going to have this year. I could see them losing on a Monday night game against the Cowboys. They're definitely losing against our Chicago Bears. They're definitely losing against the Green Bay Packers on the road in London. They're definitely losing at home against the Ravens. I think this is the only sneaky team that they may be able to defeat depending on where the Jaguars are at the season. So right now, at the moment, I'm giving them a win over the Jaguars.
I'm not. I think that's a lot. I think they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight losses up until they get to Seattle where they get their first win.
Yeah, I want to be on that boat with you too. The only reason why is I don't know what Jacksonville Jaguar team is going to have. So at this point, they have nothing, and at least the Giants have a little bit of something, and that's the little bit something is a little bit better than a little bit of nothing. At this point, but you might be right. Maybe the Giants won't win their first game until Seattle because if there's another team that's going to be worse than the Giants, is the Seahawks.
Seahawks, and then I have them winning against the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year.
I agree.
This is where I feel like they're going to go back on a losing streak. I feel like the Lions are a better team. The Cowboys are going to get swept on a Thanksgiving night. Cowboys are beating the Giants. They may pull off this win against the Commanders.
Nope. I don't have it winning no more. That's the only 2 wins they got. Seattle and Texans. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Seattle
all.
And Texans, and that's it. Because that stretch, even facing against the Eagles, going away on the road against the Commanders, that's another tough one too. I don't see them beating the Vikings. I don't see them beating the Colts. I definitely don't see them beating the Eagles. You're right. This team is basically a 2 or 3 team win team.
Yep, 2 or 3 win team. This is going to be one of the bottom of the barrel. Sucks. I think the only team that they're beating are the teams I think they're better than. That's the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans. Other than that, I don't see them.
And the Atlanta Falcons.
They
don't face them in the schedule.
They need to trade away Saquon Barkley because that man.
Even then, it's still not enough because Saquon can't stay healthy.
That's true. Washington Commanders. I think this team can be a very, very sneaky team.
It's a sneaky team. It's a very sneaky team, and you're right on this part. Because it could be a toss-up. I could see them winning the first 2 games of the season, right?
Me too.
And this is where their hiccup starts because they're not going to beat the Eagles.
Nope.
They're not going to beat the Cowboys, at least in this week 1, at least in the first meeting. The Titans, as much as they're going to, I think the Titans have a better team. They're losing against the Bears. They're losing against the Packers.
They're going to beat the Bears. They're
not beating the Bears.
Yes, they are beating the Bears.
They're not beating the Bears.
They're beating the Bears, but okay.
They're not beating the Bears. They're not beating the Bears here at home.
They're going to beat the Bears here at home.
They're not going to beat the Bears here.
A lot of teams are going to beat the Bears here at home. Okay,
I don't think so.
Trust me. Fancy from a team that has never showed you a day in your life that they are able to compete.
The Bears are going to be the surprise team this year. Trust me.
Absolutely not.
They're not beating the Packers. They're not beating the Colts.
Thank you.
Babe. I can see them competing against the Vikings and maybe pull off a win, but I'm leaning towards the Vikings on this one. I'm leaning towards the Eagles. They have the Texans on this one. I'm trying to see. But you got Comadre's.
Because she makes more sense than you. So that's
not really. Yeah. I think I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't be surprised if the Bears. You know what? I'm gonna keep this comment for my. This is gonna be the worst team that they face. The worst team in the NFL. One of the worst teams in the NFL, and the Falcons. I can see them beating the Giants. I can see them. Oh wow, this just confused. Okay, 14. So they got back-to-back games against the Giants.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, because they got the bye on the 14th, so week 14 doesn't pop up. So okay, cool. So back-to-back week is against the Giants. 2 wins there. They're losing to San Francisco. I don't know what Browns team we might see, if it's the Deshaun Watson one or not. But I can see them losing against the Browns and them possibly beating the Cowboys at home.
So I have them at 6 wins, possibly 7. I originally had the Cowboys sweeping them, but you're right. I can see them splitting with the Cowboys. It depends on what Cowboys we see at the end of the season. Usually around the end of the season is when we see the Cowboys choke, as I mentioned earlier. So 6, possibly 7 wins the most. Middle of the pack road team, still beating the Bears.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Not making the playoffs. Sorry, Commanders. Not making the playoffs this season.
I'm not sorry.
Right. Let's get into the last. Let's get into the last wherever it's gonna come up. Or is that it?
You didn't put the Cowboys schedule up?
Oh, what happened? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, what the hell?
All right, cool. There we go. The Cowboys.
Cowboys schedule is here. So, okay, Eric, I believe it or not, actually, I have this team making the playoffs. I think this team is a lot better than we say they are. John is the biggest Cowboys hater here, so you know he's biased. He would have had them losing every single game if he was on right now. But let's be realistic. The Cowboys are always great in the regular season up until the end, where they start to stumble, and in the playoffs they get eliminated. Regardless of the fact, they still have they have talent all around. Running backs, quarterback, wide receivers, tight ends. That even defensively, this team is stacked. This team should be one of the favorites year in and year out with the talent they have. They just, for whatever reason, they just can't get their head out their own ass. And they show. That being said, whew,
0-2 to start the season.
I was gonna say, what a way to start the season off. I can see them splitting. I can see them beating the Bengals though.
No,
Beating the
I
Bengals.
I can see them. You know what? That Super Bowl hangover for the team that loses the Super Bowl actually comes off with the worst start, unless if you're called the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's the only team that didn't get bitten by them, but they also had that slow start, losing to the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Bucks. With that being said, the Bengals are a better equipped team than the Dallas Cowboys,
I have
offensively and defensively.
I have my 11 wins.
I had them losing the first two. Then I got them winning back to back. Then I got them losing back to back. Then I got them winning against the Lions. Then I got them losing against the Bears.
Oh, shut up! There is no way in hell, Eric, that they are losing to the Chicago Bears.
The Bears play them tough. The
Oh.
Bears have not lost to the Cowboys in 3 meetings, homie, and that streak continues.
That was literally with Urlacher, Charles Bina Tillman, Lance Briggs, and then that was with Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack and them boys. You don't have them anymore. You don't have any of those guys other than Robert Quinn. You have none of them anymore. I'm sorry.
The Cowboys are losing against the Bears on the day before Halloween. Then they're losing against the Green Bay Packers, although
Nope.
the
I have
Cowboys
I have
the
them
Cowboys the Cowboys do play the Green Bay Packers well, and the Cowboys know how to travel to Lambeau. I would not be surprised if the Cowboys pull off this upset.
I actually have them beating the Green Bay Packers, and yes,
Nice.
if you are right, I would love to smoke whatever he smokes.
I won't be surprised if they pull off, but they definitely win against the Vikings. They're definitely win against the Giants. The Colts, I could see the Cowboys. This is where the Cowboys kind of gained their traction, beating the Vikings, beating the Giants, beating the Colts, beating the Texans, beating the Jaguars, and this is where the testament really comes for them. If they can beat this team, beat the Eagles at the end of the season, which I have them split, I could kind of see them losing at Tennessee because of the short week from Saturday to Thursday, and then making the wild card with winning against the Washington Commanders.
No, I say I have them gaining their traction when they beat the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, the Giants. I have them losing against the Indianapolis Colts, then
Okay.
winning again against the Texans, the Jaguars. I have them losing to the Eagles because I had them winning earlier in the season. Then I have them beating both the Titans and the Commanders. However, I could see the Commanders beating them because again, around this time is when they start to stumble a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if Washington
Stumble with it, yeah. I get what you're saying, but you know, they'll split the home and home series. That's why I say like the Eagles, they'll beat the Eagles at Arlington.
They'll split for sure.
They'll split for sure. And then just that game against Tennessee is where I kind of see, okay, you're talking about Nashville, going to Nashville in cold weather on an indoor team, and you're going to Washington back-to-back indoor team. Now the Washington Commanders are not going to be as talented, or they're not going to pound the Cowboys like the Texans will. I mean, the Titans will. So that's where I give the advantage to the Titans over the Commanders. But I could see them overcoming a game at Washington than at Tennessee. I mean, I got the Cowboys at above 500. I think got 10 wins, and making the wild card.
So I have them at 11 wins. I have the Eagles at 12 or 13. I have the Eagles coming out the division.
Me too.
I have the Cowboys, a strong wild card team.
Ooh, strong, not maybe wild card team for sure.
Okay. Out of all four teams we mentioned, the NFC East, Eric, who could realistically make the Super Bowl?
Neither.
Really?
I don't think so. Look, I think if the Eagles, if they're above 500 this year, I think that's a step up, especially the acquisitions that they made this offseason, right? If they make a long playoff push, that's a step up too. If the real question was what team between the Cowboys and the Eagles will make a stronger playoff push, I'll lean more to the Eagles side than I will for the Cowboys side, simply because something about the Cowboys just never feels right. Something about the Cowboys, something about the Cowboys. Just like you said, they always choke at the wrong time, right? But if you would, if a scenario will fall to where if the Cowboys faces the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs, then everything that I just say may be thrown out the window, because if there's a one team that the Cowboys can beat in the playoffs, is a team that they know in their own division, in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I look. I may be bold in saying this, and I'm going to keep this recording for when I'm right and for when I'm wrong. But I could see the Dallas Cowboys making Super Bowl this year. I think they have what it takes. I think they have the talent, the right pieces, both offensively and defensively. I don't trust their coach very much, but he has done it once before.
With a better quarterback. Wait,
Yeah,
who's the quarterback? Who's the coach? Who's the coach for the Cowboys? Is it still McCarthy?
It's McCarthy still, yes.
Yeah, with a better quarterback.
I get
a
it.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
I get it. I still think this team, both offensively and defensively, has enough talent to get them to the Super Bowl. And they look. Here's the thing: all of us, I'm me included, we shit on, for lack of a better words, and sorry for excuse my language, but we shit on the Cowboys, rightfully so, because they're always choking when it matters. That's not always going to happen. I honestly don't think. Look, every blind squirrel finds a nut, and I seriously think this blind squirrel is going to find it's nuts this year. This is the year. I'm saying it here first. You hear it first from me. The Cowboys will make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What division does the Buccaneers play?
The NFC South.
And what division does the Rams play?
The NFC West.
And what conference do they play in?
The NFC.
And what conference is the Cowboys?
The NFC.
Okay. As long as those two teams are still in the NFC, bro. Yeah. No. See, I don't know if apparently whatever I'm smoking has caught on to you. But the fact of the matter is that you're saying that the Cowboys will make the Super Bowl. It's like me saying Arsenal will win the Premier League this year.
I don't know about that, but you may be right.
I'll trust me when I'm right. Trust me when I'm right, homie. Because the Cowboys ain't going nowhere near the Super Bowl this year.
Fact? What? You really don't? Wow. Boy is a Bills fan, by the way.
My take on the Bears having a winning record sounds better than the Cowboys making the Super Bowl.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does, Jose. Seriously, bro. You talking about the Dallas Cowboys making the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna put it in the poll on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on the John Gonavi Instagram page. It's gonna be on there. Who has a better chance of succeeding, the Bears with multiple wins or the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl? She's a fan. She's a Bills fan. She converted. She's 100% Bills fan.
All right. The only way I'll believe she's a Bills fan is she goes through a table. If not, it's all talk.
Honestly, Paulina, we're gonna have to record it and put it on social media. Bills Mafia. That's how you get baptized into Bills Mafia. You got to be put through a table and
off the garage through the table.
Yes, and I'll be the loving person that I am to be able to baptize you through that table. If just I'd volunteer. I guess is what I'm trying to say, to do it.
Yeah, it's all talk until you go through that. If not, then you can't count yourself as a Bills fan without going through a table. I feel like that's how they baptize their children.
It really is how they baptize their children. You never seen the videos when the guy puts it through like?
Oh, no, I have not seen.
I've seen. Yeah, there's TikTok.
That's funny.
There, actually,
that is hilarious.
All right, if you have to start real quick before we end the show, if you have to start a team offensively with the 4 quarterbacks in the NFC East, which one would you take? I'm taking Dak. You got to.
I'm only taking Dak because I don't trust Daniel Jones. I don't know the other quarterbacks from the other. No, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Oh, because
Patrick is in Washington. I think he's starting. I don't know.
Okay. You know what? Let me take that back. I think I'll take Jalen simply because of the age and the potential.
You really are a hater. Dak is the clear best quarterback.
I mean, he's the best quarterback in this division. I agree with you 100% on that part. That part is none bar true. He was almost an MVP one year, then he broke his leg, and then he kind of is taking his feet are coming back to him. But if you talk about if me out of the quarterbacks, I'd rather take the potential over what's promised simply because you have to put a lot around Dak Prescott in order for him to succeed. And we're finally going to see with Jalen Hurts if he can succeed with all this talent around him. And that's what I'm willing to see this year.
They both have choking moments. So both Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott do have the choking moments.
I don't know, man, because Jalen Hurts only been in the league for 3 years, so you really can't say he has been choking a lot, or he's barely choked at all. Because in college, he was a real deal in Alabama.
Look at all the young quarterbacks in the AFC that's been there for not that long, like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Doesn't matter how long you've been in. You show your talent as soon as you get in the league. You know when you're a good quarterback.
Oh yeah, for sure. But remember, look all it took was to get Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow
took 2 years.
Took 2 years because he tore his ACL on a bad offensive line. You got him a weapon, and guess what? Took him to the Super Bowl. This is the first time that the Philadelphia Eagles kind of have talent around their quarterback. So to this year, we're gonna see what kind of quarterback Jalen Hurts really is. We already seen Dak Prescott, what he has with talent. We already seen how far he can take you. We've seen all of that. And I rather take the potential in Jalen Hurts than what I know in Dak Prescott. And especially because he's younger, healthier, and the sky could be the limit with this over what I know on the cap with Dak Prescott.
You take Jalen Hurts, I take Dak Prescott, running back. Out of the 4 running backs, who are you taking? You got Samuel, you got Zeke, you got Pauline, who's the running back and Commanders again? I forgot his name. Gibson. You have Gibson,
and then you got the dude from the Giants.
Barkley. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. Yeah. If you give me a healthy Saquon, I'll take him over Zeke any day. If you give me an electrifying running back, I'll take Samuel over anybody all day. But if it's health wise, then yeah, I rather take Saquon over anybody other running backs. For sure.
I agree. If you could guarantee him being healthy all year, I think he's a clear-cut choice.
100%.
But Zeke's not that far behind him. At least I don't think. If you're talking about them staying healthy, Zeke's there too.
No, he is. But I just felt like his production value has just. I don't know, man. Something about Zeke just dipped nasty, and we just don't know why.
Gibson, McKissick, that's who the running backs are. Yeah, I'm still taking Saquon. A healthy Saquon.
I'm still taking Saquon all day, every day.
A healthy Saquon could literally be MVP of the league.
A healthy Saquon could do wonders for your NFL franchise.
Seriously, he's that type of talent.
He is that type of talent.
He really is,
hands down.
Hopefully, we see it this year. All right, wide receiver. You're picking one wide receiver from each team. Who's it going to be? You have CeeDee Lamb. You have
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown now.
You have whoever from New York. And
I think CeeDee Lamb is the choice.
And no. There's what's the dude from McLaurin from Washington.
McLaurin is good too. I'm still taking CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know, man. I'd rather take AJ Brown, to be honest with you. I'd rather take AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown probably has that one quality in every wide receiver. Got the height, got the speed, got the range.
Both are dependent off their quarterbacks. It all depends on what the quarterback is doing for them. Because I feel like they both have hit or miss games.
Yes and no. I think you could kind of see more towards AJ Brown a little bit simply because he had Ryan Tannehill. It's just the inconsistency of Dak is what questions me sometimes.
All right. You heard it here first. Cowboys going to
Devontae Smith. That's the other wide receiver from the Eagles. The one that they drafted last year.
I forgot about
Devontae Smith. Give me both of them. Give me the Eagles wide receiving core with a Saquon Barkley. Yup.
Solid. I'll take Dallas's wide receiving core with Dak and Saquon. So
What? Just CD Lamb?
give me the tight ends too. Then. Hey man, they were pretty good. They were pretty good offensively.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry, but it's the Eagles all the way. And the only reason why the Cowboys can get there is because their schedule favors them at the end. That's it.
It really does.
If they literally go 500 from week 1 all the way to the Packers, then they'll definitely they're making the playoffs with that week schedule at the end.
Paulina says Devontae Golder then from the Eagles.
It's the Eagles' year, man. This is the prove it year for the Eagles.
They always have that. They're like that organization knows what they're doing, man. They always have that. I wish the Bears were like them, but it doesn't matter,
homie.
Huh?
Soon.
Look, here's the thing, and I was gonna wait to say this, but we get to
wait.
North.
You can wait.
I'm gonna wait.
You can still wait.
I'm gonna wait.
Still wait.
But there's gonna be a big show coming soon at the end of the season.
Right before the season starts, we're definitely going to do the NFC North. I mean, we have to save that one for last, don't we?
Well, we're in the NFC now. I feel like we save the AFC, for because
All right, the AFC West is definitely the last one to talk about, then, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
Spoiler alert!
Next week we are going to preview the NFC West, and then we go to the North. But no, the NFC West is with next week's show. So should be a good one.
Should be a great one.
A good conference. It's a good division to go through for sure.
For sure. Yep. This is the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I'd like to thank everybody in the comment section. Comadre, Deontay, John that was on. I'd like to thank you everybody for watching, for listening, guys. Make sure you tune in to every JCA Sports Podcast on the Anchor and the Spotify app. And then make sure you guys hit the bell under the John Conavi Facebook page. That way you guys get notified when our show is on. Sports Strip Live and the EAFP podcast. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And also thanks big creation for our sponsor for today's show and all our shows too on the Facebook comment section. For Jose Contreras, myself, Eric Avila, would like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. John, who couldn't be with us today, but he was slightly strong on the comment section. We will see you guys on Wednesday, same time, same place. Jose!
Sir.
Outro.
What a finish! Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.